Okay, lesson 50, the Cartesian coordinate system. This is actually a really easy lesson, so I don't think it's going to take long at all. This right here is what we call the Cartesian coordinate system. So I'm just going to do a little bit of terminology for you so that when we talk about this you have some idea what I'm talking about. This is the y-axis. Let me get the right color here. Here's the y-axis. If you flip this, never mind, we're not going to do the flipping thing. And this is the x. So you have to memorize this. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. The other things you need to know in Cartesian, these are called your axes. And this is divided into 4 different quadrants. And we go counterclockwise to label the quadrants. So this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and we'll use Roman numerals to do this, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So it goes in counterclockwise direction. They also call this the rectangular coordinate system, and that's about all we need to know about the Cartesian coordinate system. Now what we do on the Cartesian coordinate system is we graph things, and in Algebra 1 we're going to graph lines. And this is an example of an equation of a line that we're going to graph. This is a linear equation, and the reason it's a linear equation is because the highest exponent of any term is a 1. So the highest exponent of this one is a 1. You can see the 1 here and a 1 here. Because the highest exponent is a 1, we call this a linear equation. And the graph of a linear equation is a straight line. All the points that make this true lie on this line and actually make it a line. There's an infinite number of values that make this true. Like for instance, if I put a 2 in for x, if I put a 2 in, we're going to talk about what this is in a minute. If I put a 2 in for x, that would be 2 times 2 is 4 plus 4, I get an 8 out. If I put a 3 in for x, I would have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10. So there's an infinite number of values that will make this true, and all those values will lie on a straight line, which we're going to learn to graph probably tomorrow. Now the values that make it true can be written as what we call right here. We put what the x value is first. This is always the x value, and then the y value. They go in alphabetical order. This is called an ordered pair. And they're all the values that make this particular equation true. So what we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to graph ordered pairs, and what that's good for is when we do problems later on when you have to be able to graph. So you probably have done this in the past, but if not, let's just review this real quick. This is what your homework's going to look like. It'll say graph these ordered pairs. Make sure you do the practice problems in your lessons. If you don't do the practice problems, there's the chance that you'll never do the type of problem that we do in class. Sometimes the even problems are always the same kind. So anyway, we're going to graph these ordered pairs. We have 4 ordered pairs we're going to graph. Like the first one is 3, 3. The first value, I'm just going to write it again over here, 3, 3. The first value tells us where we go on the x-axis, and the second one tells us where we go on the y-axis. And this is going to be a point. So let me just show you how this works. If this is our y-axis, this is our x-axis, you do the x first. You go in order. We're going to go 3 to the right because the x, we're going to go on the x-axis. We're going to go 3 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3. We're not going to put our point there until we do what it says to do for the y-coordinate. From there, we're going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. These are the positive x values, and these are the negative x values. Negative and positive. These are the positive y values. These are the negative x values. The middle point right here is called the origin, and that's the point 0, 0. So this is our point 3, 3. Let's try another one. Let's do negative 4, 0. This is our x, the direction we go on the x-axis. This is the direction we go once we hit there on the y-axis. So we start at 0, and probably didn't say that in the last one. You always start at the origin, 0, 0. The x we go negative 4, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the y-coordinate's a 0, so we don't go up or down any, we just put our point there. Did I count for 1, 2, 3, 4? And we have that point, it's negative 4, 0. We don't go up or down at all on the y-axis. Let's do the next one. 0, negative 3. Our x is 0, our y is negative 3. So you start in the origin, your x is 0, so you don't go left or right at all. The y is negative 3, so you go down 1, 2, 3, and you put your point. And that's the point 0, negative 3. Let's just do the last one. The last one is 4, negative 2. The x, we go from starting at the origin, we're going to go 4 on the x-axis, and then from that point where we end up, we go down 2 on the y-axis. So here we go. We started at the center, we go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go down 1, 2. And that's our point 4, negative 2. Hard to see. And that's it for lesson 50.